Hello everyone! Today I'm going to be doing a K-pop journal flip through. I have 3 here, but I'm going to be mainly focusing on this one because this one is the one I'm working on now, and this one is my first journal, and it was very boring and like I didn't fill in a lot of space or anything, so I'll still show a few things from this one, but I'm mainly going to be focusing on the one that I finished most recently. So I hope you enjoy. Okay, so this is my first journal that I had, and it was actually a bujo for a little bit. I was debating with myself a lot whether I wanted it to be a K-pop journal or a bullet journal or like a mix of both, but pretty much all of my journaling I just ended up doing in here, so it's kind of a mix of stuff. But as I said, I'm not going to be showing the whole thing, so I have like a few spreads that I marked with my fingers to show, just to show like the progress of my journaling. So this was the first full spread that I ever made. I was always really scared of 2-page spreads for some reason, like because of the binding. I always thought that it'd be hard to make the pages look like they match each other. So that was basically just me talking about the start of my account, because this was the start of my journal and I started my account like not too long after I started bullet journaling in here. Then I have these. These are 2 types of spreads I did really often in this journal. I did to-do lists every weekend because I didn't know what else to do in my journal. And then I did like daily recordings, which I would really talk about nothing, and they were always really bland and boring. Like, these were boring too. And then, oh, the first K-pop spread I did in here, and one of the only, honestly, because I did bullet journaling for a while, was this one. This was a collab with one of my mutuals at the time, and we decided to do a pink and yellow theme for Schumann, which I guess like it turned out okay. Then I started getting into minimalism a while, so there's like this spread and a bunch of other ones, but I still kind of like how this looks. Like, the layout is very interesting to me, but the minimalism didn't stick because I'm just not good at that type of stuff. Then I started getting into like putting a bunch of quotes on my journal and like trying to fill up space more, and I went through this massive craft paper phase where I would just use craft paper in literally everything. And that was kind of my thing on my account, was you'd see the craft paper in every single spread across my account. Also, sorry if I sound a little groggy. I woke up not too long ago, but I didn't have a lot of time to film this, so I went ahead and did it early. This is kind of similar to the last one where I just took a big photo and then like put craft paper everywhere and a quote and then like decorated it up a little. Then this one. And then this one as well. I started playing around with things I could add to my calligraphy, like drop shadows and highlights and all that. And that's the last spread in here. After that, I just started putting washi samples. So this is my second journal. It's quite thick. I ended up using like a lot of cardstock in this, and that was a mistake. So it'll take a while to get through, I think. But I'm gonna try not to babble on about each spread too much, so it won't take up a ton of time. But here is the start. I never really do anything fancy on the front pages. I know some people like to decorate theirs, but I just put the start and end date, and that was it. And for the first one, I still used craft paper for this. I don't know why. That was just like talking about the start of the journal. Then I had a guide to day 6. That was my first 2-page spread in here, and I was really excited that I'd be able to paste stuff across the middle. This spread took me so long. I don't know what it was. I remember sitting there and just having this like journal block for the longest time because I didn't know what to do anywhere. And this was also the spread that I realized that my pen would bleed onto the other page when I was writing on the backs. So I started putting like a paper in between when I write. This one was really bad. I want to burn this spread, oh my gosh. Also, I have quite a bit of empty spread. Well, not empty, like some of them I made the spread and then I just didn't feel like filling it in because I didn't feel like it was good enough. I never liked this spread, to be honest. Like, I guess the amount of words I put just was really overwhelming, and I didn't do anything fancy with the titles either. I know with a lot of people at their positivity challenge spreads, they did like colored titles and like more stuff in the background or whatever, but I just did not like how this turned out. It's still a nice spread to look back on. This was a simple start challenge. I don't know if you guys remember that, but it's basically a challenge that one of my friends made where you just show how much you can do with limited supplies. Since journaling materials can be pretty expensive, like it builds up over time, the memo sheets, the washi tape, the stickers, all of that, it can really get pricey. So this was just a challenge that showed you how much you can do with limited supplies. So I made these stickers on just like paper and then glued them down, and I just printed out a few photos and then didn't do anything fancy with the title, some craft paper, book page. And I think it was really nice looking through these to see all the beautiful spreads you can make with simple materials. This was a series that I wanted to start where I would talk about idols in certain births or like zodiac signs, but I never kept up with it. I kind of wish I did. This is the messed up spread that I was talking about for Scorpios. It's just really bad. As you can see, I started doing a lot of these like half-page spreads because I saw people starting to play around with cutting the pages and everything, so I thought it was really cool, and I got like into this habit of making these types of spreads where it'd be very like random. I'd use a bunch of different materials and then just write about whatever. This was a spread that my sister actually made. We were talking about her journaling because she wanted to get into it for a while, so I let her do a spread in mine since she didn't have a journal of her own. So here she was just trying it out to see what it was like, and I think it's pretty good. Like, the layout is really nice. I helped along a little bit with it, but she took the lead the most of the way, and I think she did a good job. You can see how my journal started getting really thick. It was getting super difficult to write on towards the end. Like, I'd have to get in the crease, and then you can't even see the words in the crease anymore. are pretty fun for me to make. I liked going through each of the members and like dedicating a whole spread to them. These two are some of my favorites too. I don't know what it is. I guess it's like the lettering is part of it. I started playing around a little bit more with it. And also the memo sheets and the colors. I like the mint in this one because I don't work with that a lot, especially this combination of colors, so that was really cool. This is one of my favorite spreads in here just because of the header. Like, I really liked how I did this lettering. It was different from just the normal calligraphy or bubble letters. I really like this header as well. It's just like, it's a shame that you can't see some part of the pictures in the memo sheets. This is probably one of many Mark Yuck spreads that I'll make. Like this being the first one, and then I already have like 2 in my new journal. And this was the final spread, which you could see how squishy it was getting in the corner. I still had a few pages left in this, but I just could not deal with writing that far in the corner anymore. So I went off with a bang and like did this really extra Valentine's Day spread. I don't know if you can see one. I can't see the camera from where I'm sitting, so it's like, I don't know if that was messy or not. But I did a bunch of different lettering styles. And I used like a bunch of materials and memo sheets. It was also cool since I don't work with red a ton. So this was nice. Then that's the end for this journal. And then I'll show the journal I'm working on just a little bit, just to show you what my style is like now. But it's like, I don't want to show a ton because then if I get farther back in the journal or start getting into spreads that I haven't shown even on my account yet. This one, I put an interactive piece on this one. This was inspired after Jin's waterfall cards. She has a tutorial on her account, so I'll link hers down below too, and you can go check it out and see how to make these. Hers were square, but I just cut off the excess and made mine into circles. Then so that is it for all my journals. I had a lot of fun working through these, although it took a while, but I will link my Instagram down below if you want to keep up with me on there, and subscribe if you want to keep up with me on here. And thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.